Satellite communicators used to be a last resort item, a lifeline for when you needed help but you were outside of mobile coverage. But these days, devices like this Garmin InReach Messenger Plus do so much more, letting you text, share photos, share voice messages, and even broadcast your location in real time. But do pilots and outdoor adventurers really need something like this? What actually does the InReach Messenger Plus do? And with newer smartphones like the iPhone actually offering satellite messaging built in, is it even worth having a device like this anymore? So this is the Garmin InReach Mini. I've flown with this for many years now, but last year Garmin released this device, which is the InReach Messenger Plus. If you get the new Messenger Plus and you've got an existing Garmin InReach device, the setup of this is actually very easy. You can transfer all your information, including your billing info and how often you want to do things like tracking whereabouts you are in real time, from one device across to the other, or using the Garmin Messenger app. Now yes, it's another app that you need to download, but one big advantage of that is I actually like having all of my messaging, kind of my emergency messaging, all of my contacts that I'd want to speak to through this device in a separate place to all my other contacts on my iPhone. One common feature between the original InReach Mini and the new InReach Messenger Plus is they both have the SOS button. To trigger the SOS on the InReach Mini, you have to lift up the plastic flap on the side, and there's a small button underneath that when you push, triggers the SOS. Same principle with the InReach Messenger Plus, but the nice thing about this device is because it's paired to your phone, you can also trigger the SOS from the phone itself. You can also connect certain Garmin wearables as well. So this is the D2 Mark 1 Pro aviator watch, and now I've connected it to the InReach Messenger Plus. I now have the ability to message and communicate using the InReach from my watch, but also, and I'm not going to press this, but I can also trigger an SOS from my watch. Let's just appreciate for a second that yes, I can trigger a full search and rescue to come and find me based on the location that this is sending out just from my watch. I think that's amazing. And saying that, I should probably just turn that off. Good. But the big difference between the older InReach devices and the new InReach Messenger Plus is whilst both use the Iridium network, which gives them full 100% coverage wherever you are in the world, the older devices use what's called SBD, or short burst data, meaning you can only send short text messages, whereas this uses a newer updated part of the Iridium network, which actually allows you to send text messages first of all, but also voice messages and photos, which is not just like a sharing photos of your lovely day out hiking thing. It's actually good from an emergency situation point of view as well, because if you are communicating with people through this device and they are trying to find you, you can send them pictures of where you are, so as they get closer to your location, hopefully it means that they can find you quicker. And so a couple of other quick features about this device that I really like. First of all, it's drop proof. It's also IPX7 rated, meaning that you can submerge it in up to 1 metre of water for over 30 minutes. Plus, if you're out and about and your phone runs out of batteries, you can actually use this as a power bank with the reverse charging function. Like most other Garmin devices as well, this thing has crazy battery life. According to the specs, you can run this for 25 days continuously when it's set in 10-minute tracking mode. But another thing that I really like about this simply is the design, the fact that it's changed into such a slim design. Because when I'm flying and I want to use this for messaging and tracking, it takes up basically no space and it just sits nicely on top of the dashboard. Now, I want to test some of the features of this to show you what they're like, but I think it would be boring to do that on the ground, wouldn't it?
I can't hear you. Oh, I turned you down, I think.
There we go.
There you go. So now that we're rolling out just to the holding point, the first thing I'm going to do is turn tracking on the device, but using the watch. So I don't actually need to physically touch the InReach. I can just come down here to tracking. I can go tracking on, and it should turn. I'm going to reach it here just to prove. Yeah, it should turn tracking on, so you can see the little pinpoint that's here now on the device, which has told me the tracking has been turned on. And just here on the iPad as well, this is just using one of Garmin's tracking systems as well. You might use your own one just to determine your location and download your tracking files, but you can see now that we've activated the tracking, we've got our pinpoint basically exactly where we are, here in the runner bay at Melbourne Airport.
Okay, Yankees, are we clear for takeoff?
Clear for takeoff, okay, Yankees, are
You good?
I'm good. Just as we're climbing out of Moorabbin then, what I've done on my phone, which is connected to the InReach, is I've turned on flight mode. So even if it could get a mobile signal, which you can do sometimes at this altitude, but I've turned it off so there's no mobile signal. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to send a quick message to Jack, who's at home, but I'm going to send a message to her. The nice thing is she doesn't have to have Garmin Messenger installed on her phone, because I've loaded her as a contact like I showed you before. I can just send the message and it automatically goes to her phone.
Line up, Kilo Golf Juliet.
So that took around just about 5 or 6 seconds for that loading to go away. You can see at the top as well, it just says satellite message, so it's telling me that it's been sent using the satellite and not by using my standard mobile signal. Oh, and then there you go, a couple of seconds later, well, about a minute later actually received. And then if you click on the little pinpoint that's next to the message field as well, you can also at the bottom of the message send your location with that too. So that by default gets sent along with every message that you send. You can turn that on and off, because if you're just communicating, you don't necessarily want your location shared with every single message that you're sharing. But I've just turned that on just to test it. And she should get a link now to basically the lat long of where we were at the point in time when that message was sent. And again, if you've got your watch paired to the InReach Messenger Plus as well, you can see the message also comes up on your watch here too.
How many bounces?
I'm going to go for, you going to go 2? Yeah, let's go 2.
Yankee Zulu, clear to land.
Clear to land, Echo Yankee Zulu.
Echo with the uniform, all but complete.
Police uniform, join downwind, runway 13 right, at Cherokee's about 2 miles.
Annoying, that's annoying.
Alright, that's the fun stuff out of the way. Let's talk price. As well as the purchase price, you will also need to get an ongoing subscription plan to use some of the services that this can offer you. Now, irrespective of the plan you choose, you still get the emergency SOS function in every plan. Every plan also gets 50 texts a month. So the essential plan, which is $25 a month here in Australia, gives you an additional 10 voice or photo messages per month. The standard plan, which is $50 a month, gives you 150 text messages. It also gives you 25 photo or voice messages, but that plan does give you unlimited tracking. And then the premium plan, which is $85 a month, gives you unlimited texts, 50 voice or photo messages, and also unlimited tracking. Why then would you want to bother getting a device like this, a satellite communication device, when, like I said at the beginning of this video, a lot of smartphones these days already have satellite messaging built in? Well, the first reason is this gives you more than just text messaging. So it gives you photo messaging, voice messages that you can send as well. And of course you can do tracking through this device. The phone is also, it can be a tad fiddly just to go through that whole lining up to the satellites process. And once you've lined the phone up to the satellites, you have to send your message without really moving the phone around too much. It can be a little bit fiddly. And knowing that this thing is always connected to satellites is just one less thing to think about in what's probably going to be an already busy situation. Then if you are in an incident and you break your phone, or if you lose your phone, then that's the sole device that you have to communicate with. With this InReach Messenger Plus, I have this device, my watch, and my phone, and as long as this device is connected to the satellites, I can use any of those 3 devices to call for help. And then there's coverage as well. So the Iridium network that the InReach Messenger Plus uses covers 100% of the globe. You can use this anywhere that it can see the satellites. The iPhone, whilst it is being supported in more countries as time goes on, still the satellite messaging isn't supported everywhere in the world. So do you really need one of these products? Well, before I answer that, I will just say, full disclosure, I am a Garmin brand ambassador, so they do expect me to say nice things about their products. But what I will say is, if you're only out in the great outdoors infrequently, and if you know that you've got coverage using your iPhone, then I don't know if there's a real requirement to have anything more than the ability to be able to communicate with people through text messaging if there is an emergency situation. And I think if you've already got an iPhone which has got the satellite messaging in it, that's probably enough for you. Also, and I say this about all new technology, if you are a student pilot, if you are learning to fly, step away from the Garmin website. You do not need one of these early in your flight training career. You might want it down the line when you're flying solo, doing your navigation exercises, that's fine. But right now, save your money, spend it on fuel, spend it on flight training. You don't need one of these. But the design changes between these 2 devices for me is actually a reason to upgrade. This is a little bit bulky for my uses. This I know can sit neatly on the dash. Plus I know I can pair this with my phone and with my watch. Means that I've got peace of mind knowing that I've got multiple ways to trigger search and rescue should I need it. Especially in the instance, let's hope it never happens, but say you are in an incident and you cannot reach this device physically, it's good to know I don't need to be able to get my hands on it to still be able to trigger an SOS alert.